I've been proofreading a lot of articles and blog posts recently, which is fantastic because, as I'm sure most of us would agree, content marketing is a really cost-efficient and effective way of advertising. And actually, with the rise of social media, it's becoming more and more popular. Creating well-written and high-quality content can seem like a time-consuming and understandably overwhelming task. Unfortunately, there aren't any shortcuts when it comes to becoming an expert or some kind of a specialist, but there are certainly a few things that are well worth remembering which should hopefully provide you with immediate results. So I am Neely of Neely There, and what I'm going to do today is I'm going to share with you a couple of techniques that I personally use when I'm creating content, and hopefully you'll be able to take something away from them as well. So the first thing that I'd like to say, and this is something that I'm sure you have heard over 100 times, is to keep your content clear and concise. And this is so very important. One way of doing this is by ensuring that the paragraphs in your article or in your blog post are kept short so that they are easy for human scanning. Now, imagine a video game. So if you're a gamer, you'll probably understand this example a little bit better. But imagine a video game. A number of achievements are unlocked at the beginning of a video game. And what this does is that it provides the player with a sense of victory, a sense of fulfillment, and then encourages them to continue playing the game till the very end. Now, in the same way, if a reader is able to pick up at least one really valuable and useful point from each paragraph, which shouldn't take them too long, remember, because your paragraphs should be short, then this will subconsciously make them feel really good about themselves, as if they're really learning something. So writing towards some kind of a build-up does not necessarily work. You need to provide value and some kind of engagement from the very beginning of your article, and then you need to be able to maintain that throughout. And actually, whilst we're on the subject of clarity and cohesion, another thing that I would like to say is make sure that you actually are providing answers. Remember, in the heading or the title of your article, you're making a promise to your readers. You're making a promise that you're going to answer particular questions, or you're going to provide them with specific information about a particular subject. So stay true to that. It might be a good idea for you to think about the end of your article before you've even started writing it. What I personally do is I write my final paragraph first, and I understand that this technique probably won't work for everyone, but for me personally, it keeps me on track. It ensures that I don't digress from the main point, so it might be something worth considering for yourselves as well. Editing. Now, I know it's difficult, but do not strive for perfection the first time round, because chances are you won't be able to achieve this anyway. Leave the editing until the very end. When you initially sit down to write your article or your blog post, your primary focus should be to get all of the relevant information, all of those key points, onto a piece of paper or onto your computer screen. After you've done that, you can then return to your content and redraft and refine if you need to. If it helps, break your editing down into separate sort of phases. So in round 1 of your editing, you could check to make sure that you've made all of the relevant points that you needed to make. In round 2 of the editing, you could check for things like spelling and grammatical mistakes. This will make your life a lot easier, and it will also encourage you to check your work more than once, which again is really important. Final point, images. And you may argue that images have nothing to do with written content, but they do, because what images do is that they complement your written content. Obviously, appropriate images, relevant images. And one thing that I would personally suggest is choose images that have some kind of an emotional appeal, because readers will be able to relate to that a little bit more. So for example, if you're writing an article about computer software, instead of having an image of a blank computer screen, consider having an image of a man in a suit pulling his hair out because he's frustrated, I know it sounds quite cliche, but hopefully you can see where I'm going with this. Images with an emotional appeal will be able to relate to your readers a little bit more. So if you can try and do some of these, or all of these things, then I really think that you'd be off to a good start. Remember, it does not matter whether you are writing an article about hypnotherapy or whether you're writing an article about car insurance. You're still writing for human beings, so ensure that your content is still simple to understand. It still seems personable, and you come across as an approachable person and business through your written content. If you would like a professional second opinion, or if you would like any further assistance in getting started, then as always, send me a message, give me a call. Does not matter which industry you're working in, we can have a coffee and talk about it. Thank you for watching.